Hey everybody, it's Matthew back with another episode of Watty's channel. Today it's going to be a room tour. Just kind of give you guys an update, some of the changes I've made, some of my expectations, some of the things that are going to be included or updated in the next month or so. And so I'm going to dive right into the collections and I hope you guys enjoy. So right off the bat, guys, I'm going to talk about the first thing that's near to my heart. So this is one of the shelves for the Power Ranger collection. Now, a lot of times when I talk about, my Power Ranger collections, a lot of folks, they kind of laugh it off and whatnot. But, I don't know. I mean, I was 8 years old when Power Rangers first came out. And I kind of feel like, this was a show that I absolutely loved. And there's not an 8-year-old on the planet that didn't watch Power Rangers. No one my age, everyone grew up watching this show and loved it. So obviously it's not, especially the top figures, it's not displayed the way I want. As you guys know, I like to be able to kind of look at it just like this to see exactly what I have. Unfortunately, with the amount of different collections I've acquired, I'm not able to quite display everything the way that I want to. And, even though this is a really big room down here, with the amount of collections again, it's just it's not very feasible to have everything situated the way I want so that everything is face forward. So these collections here, these are basically a mixture of both new and old. These are a lot of my original collections in here. So even as a kid, I mean, I really didn't play with the toys. Oddly enough, whenever I got the figures, I'd bring them home, open up the package, put them on my shelf back home. They were never really used as play toys. And I'm going to keep this on the ground because I don't want you guys to see anything else just yet. So these are some of the new, well, I don't say new, they're new for me, acquisitions. A lot of these Bandai toys came out from the 90s, 94 maybe. And in here, we've got Power Rangers Legacy and the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. So even though I don't really collect these the way that I did as a kid, obviously, as an adult, every now and then, if I see something really cool, I figure, you know what, let me keep the collection going strong. So I'll go out and I'll acquire, a figure here and there. And these Power Rangers Lightning Collection is actually remarkable. But as you see, they're all kind of like just bundled on top of each other. You really can't see them, or they're not displayed the way I'd like, and it really sucks because I mean these are such an amazing collections, I think. And a lot of the time, especially when you get into like figures like this, the Jack's classic superstars, same thing. It's like you got to pull it off the shelf like a book, right? Yeah, but this right here, that's how I want to display them. Unfortunately, if I were to do that, I'd have like a 5-tier shelf. I'd have like 15 figures, which means I'd basically have to have like a room of like 50 different shelves in order to do that. All right, so my movie shelf, not anything special. At one point, I would say this thing was 25% more full. As I moved, I don't know what happened, but the movers misplaced the boxes, what have you. A lot of my movies, I lost a lot of my movies, which sucked because if I had kept going and actually kept buying my movies the way I had been, I'd probably have about 4 of those movie shelves filled by now. So this right here, I just did last night, and I'm kind of weird because I never really considered using either the sides or the back of my display shelves for display purposes. And this is perfect because this is exactly how I want to be able to look at my displays. And it's not complete. Obviously, I don't have full collections or anything. Uh, would I ever do the full collections on like the elite figures or anything like that? No. These type of figures, they don't do it for me. I just kind of like buy them just to have some here and there. And some interest me, like you've got the different variants of this Macho Man. So for this one, I believe I'm missing Razor Ramon for this series. So this is right here, something I started maybe a few weeks ago. At one point, what I was doing is kind of putting all the Hasbros with accessories on this wall, and then it kind of became like a free for all. Figures with accessories. Some of the more valuable figures I'd put up on here. I'd put up my Hasbro customs. I put up the bendies. basically, if the figure could fit in these little plastic cases, they were put up on here. So now it's just kind of uh, duplicate figures. Any duplicate figures I have, I just kind of put over here, just kind of like display. They look really good. So down here, we've got more of the Power Rangers, some of the larger, more expensive figures, Zords and stuff like that. A lot of Carter figures. I think I have very few loose in there. And then this shelf right here, or this little board, I just put it up last night, and I think that looks great. We'll talk about that in a moment. So I decided to use this shelf strictly for, or mostly for my Remco figures. And I said it before when I did my Remco review. I was never planning on actually acquiring these many figures. I had no intention on getting any of these carded, especially when they were selling for $250 plus per package. But I figured I'd get like maybe 6 or so, just enough to say that I had something. But the collection just kind of grew, and because they're like lube, they have so many duplicate figures. I really don't know what series a lot of these come from. You got Baron von Raschke and Rick Martel on several different versions. So here's one thing that's kind of interesting. So with these wrestling rings, we know that a lot of the wrestling rings from Remco, they had these little cardboard bottoms with, of course, the cloth mat for the ring. But this one was a little bit different. Now this one was actually made out of wood, and because I'm not very familiar with the Remco figures, I don't know if that was intentional, if Remco came out with a cardboard and a wooden ring, or maybe somebody just created, took a metal piece, or excuse me, a wooded square and put the ring or use that as a ring. I don't know if it's custom or if that's original. I do know Remco came out with like a steel cage ring, so I'm thinking maybe that's what that came from. But again, I don't know. I really only needed one ring. I just bought another one because, me being me, I like having duplicates in case I ever lose one, sell one, what have you. At least I'll still have one for my personal collection. All right, so we've got a lot of really awesome custom Hasbro figures from Robert Jackson, and I wanted to keep these in order originally, by seller. Uh, I changed that up because I decided to put a lot of the figures that are like duplicates. Well, not necessarily duplicates, but like same wrestlers. I decided to put them together. So you're gonna have a little bit of mixture in here. So you got like Robert Jackson up here. You've got Derek, Pumpkin Man 1986. You've got Denver Moore over here. Um, let's see. So we got Dave up there with a couple figures. We've got Stan right there with the Ultimate Warrior. And these names aren't going to mean anything to anybody, but the guys that watch the video that know that they sold these figures to me, I'm sure they'll be appreciative of the shout out or what have you. So the bendies, again, these aren't my main collection. I just kind of put them here because these figures actually fit in a plastic casing, and I have had trouble selling them. So that's what those are. Those are just kind of like future sellables right there. And don't pay any attention to the big bad Beetleborgs. Again, I just kind of wanted to find something that would fit in these plastic casings, and I don't think any of them really fit very well. I had to kind of smush them in there. So this one right here, these Four Horsemen, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, that's just duplicates. I'm gonna eventually sell those. Problem is, when I buy these items, I buy them based on someone who wants to keep the item. So if you're spending $50 on a Ric Flair, for example, if you want it for your personal collection, you're going to spend that $50. But if you think that you want to sell it back and or turn a profit, let's say you want to get 60 for it, you're not going to get that $10 profit because people are looking at it as, well, it's a $40 or $50 figure. I don't know. Again, value is what people are willing to pay for an item. So, and I think I bought that 2 or 3 times, and each time I paid different prices. Sometimes $42. I think I paid 75 once. So it's So there's just more Power Rangers up here. And what I didn't do was kind of do like a full room display. So this is it, fellas and gals. This is the full room display. As you can remember, that couch was on that back wall right there, and those two shelves were back there where the two DVD media shelves are. Originally, I didn't want to block that back door. That's why I kind of moved them over here. But, you know, with the amount of collections, I had no choice. I kind of had to put something else over there. And now I got like this little, horseshoe item, and I'll probably get another one of these shelves, move this out this way, and slide that one down there. So over here we got the WWE Masters of the Universe. So they are in series order for those that I do have. Obviously, I don't have the whole collection or anything, but I mean, this is something I am going to complete eventually. But right now, I'm not actively pursuing it, so it's probably going to be a while. And we got the first series of Wrestling Superstars. And then we get into more Jakks Classic Superstars with a 3-pack, singles, doubles, and then there's more singles down there. And of course, we've got some of the Jakks Classic Superstar singles down here. And so I probably will do a video of the complete series when I have them. So let's see. All right, so the original San Francisco toy makers. Here's a good one. So with a lot of the singles, as you guys kind of probably remember, when I started the original San Francisco collection, I kept buying them all individually or single, loose, and then I got this first red trunked Ric Flair on card. Me having OCD the way I do, I got one on card. You know what that means. I got to have them all on card, and so that's how the acquiring all of the carded figures happened. And because I couldn't sell these on eBay for the prices I ever wanted, they weren't selling on Buy It Now, I decided to do auction, and I kept listing them over and over again, and they weren't selling for the prices I wanted. If I spend $15 on a Vader and, shipping and taxes, probably spend $20+. I don't want to sell Vader on auction for $1. I don't want to do that. So I said, what, forget it. I'm not going to try and sell these on eBay anymore. What I started doing was put the loose figures right in front of their carded figures. And I think that looks really, really good. Now, obviously, I don't have loose figures for every single card backing, but I mean, it's still a fantastic collection overall. And when I did the original San Francisco, we have series 1, 2, and 3. We've got, faces, we've got heels, we got the vibrating figures, so they're all down there. What I found really cool was these, I guess Remco made these. So these are like for a little hockey game or something, and I just thought that was pretty awesome. There's only 3 there, but I thought I had 4. Well, Ultimate War technically doesn't count, but anyways, all right. So this is my first foray into trying to capture the carded figures where they could be actually looked at face forward. And I saw this and it looked really awesome. I'm like, you know what? I absolutely love that. I'm going to try and do that, some more. And, just kind of continuation with the Hasbros. Walk around over here. What we got up there? Okay, we got Hogan, some more elites. Once I get more hooks, I'm gonna put these elites over in the back shelf. And as you remember with the Hasbro's complete collection, where you may have a carded figure in the back and everything in front of it is going to be, for that particular series. Or if I don't have a carded figure for that series, you'll find them on these little plastic stands. So you got, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We get into 5, 6, and 7. All right, so we got 8, 9, and 10. And I don't know if you can see them all. So Yokozuna, for whatever reason, I think I paid less money for the carded Series 11 Yokozuna than I did for the original loose. Well, they're both original. That Crush, I believe, is a custom, if I'm not mistaken. Billy Gunn, Ludwig Borga, a couple of the Atom Bombs. I really wish this Hogan right here, the mail away, I really wish that was an original. That thing would be worth like $1,200. So I got rid of a lot of the customs that were down here. As you remember, as I just showed you guys, they were now hanging up on the wall, the little wooden board. So these are some of the bigger figures that obviously don't fit inside those plastic casings. So, all right. And then you turn around. So you have like this little walkway path, which I kind of like. And then over here, again, you got the complete collection of the Mattel Retros. I really want more of these zombies. WWE came out with like this monster collection, which look absolutely phenomenal, and I'm dying for those. I've found Inosuke, I think the way you pronounce her name, on card, which is reasonable price. I think it was like $20 or $30, but like everything else that's carded, they want like, I don't know, anywhere between $75 to like $150. I'm like, no, guys, that's not happening. And so, we'll start off with the Erasers with the Hogan and Snuka. And not complete by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, this is, a few of the thumb wrestlers and bendy figures over here. What's that? Iron Sheik. And then we get into the bendies. Again, not complete, but, relatively close, I think. And of course, we got the yellow Hogan over here, or yellow and red Hogan. And then we got the yellow and blue Hogan over here, which I, find to be much more rare. So I decided to move from that display over there, over here, which is going to be the complete original collection of the LJNs. And of course, I recently did a video for the LJN, so now you see all the figures come with accessories. And I finally got the Jimmy Hart with the megaphone with all the hearts on them. I've actually had a couple of them, but I've either tried selling them or they weren't in the best condition, so I really didn't want to put them on the shelf. Let's see, we got here 4 Left 3D Creations on Etsy. David Garland makes these amazing stands. I've talked about him very frequently. Yeah, so these are all original. Well, let me rephrase that. Like those figures from Series 6, those all come from Random Treasures. Yeah, at $300+ per figure. No, I would not buy those. I mean, will I eventually? I don't see why not, but I consider them original because they obviously duplicates or molded after the originals. And then this section over here is just all my custom figures from the Raider Nation. My absolute favorite, well, not my absolute favorite, but they're definitely among my absolute favorite figures. And I forgot to give a shout out to the seller of these 2 figures. For the love of me, I can't remember who it was. I mean, I buy from so many sellers, so it's really hard to keep track, but I probably will do a video for those 2 as well. So here, this is going to be all the custom Random Treasures. And I just bought a new Ultimate Warrior. And when that comes in, we'll do a video about that one as well. So Print Fury, the 2 Earthquakes. And then we get into the figures that I've acquired from Wrestling Rider on eBay. And down here is just kind of like a few loose figures, from one seller here and there. Move over Swanson for the Hulk Hogan, some other sellers for these loose figures. Once we get into the Beefcake right there, these are all from John Ruggiero. The one J Ruggs, I believe 79 was his tagline on eBay. So I just bought a Vader and some Steiner Brothers LJNs from him, from John Ruggiero. So those should be coming probably in the next week or so. All right, so this I did not want to mix in with the wrestling, but this is essentially the horror collection, which I hate. Not that I hate the horror collection, let me rephrase that. I hate the way that I have it displayed. This is not at all the way that it's supposed to be looking. I just kind of have everything kind of just thrown everywhere. And a lot of these figures, you can't even see them because, they're blocked by, Funkos or whatnot. And Funkos, I don't know, I'm not a fan of them. I just buy them because, for what they are, like they're horror related. So I'm like, okay, why not? I got a lot of McFarlane stuff back there. I don't know why these McFarlane toys are so expensive, but all right. So, and of course, most of these are going to be NECA. And we got the Tales from the Crypt Keeper figures behind this lot. And we turn around and we look at some of the customs. These are from Stanger GQ. So all those figures that are hanging up on that back wall were in this ring at one point. I removed them. I haven't done a video about it, but I am going to do one possibly about the new Legion of Doom and kind of, I guess, compare them to the Random Treasures Legion of Doom. So this, since I don't really have space left and right, the only way to go is up. This looks sloppy. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it, but sometimes when things are kind of crunching together, it does give a decent presentation. Since I don't have shelves, what I was doing was taking these excess boards from the display shelves. I don't have hooks or anything, at least not now. This was just something kind of put together, on a flim or on a whim. So what I was doing was taking these drop boxes from The Walking Dead and using them as pillars, and then I would lay the shelf boards on top of them, and that way I would have more display space. So these guys up here, eventually I will try and sell those. The Jakks, I guess those were Jakks Classic Superstars. I just kind of bought those just because I think they look good, and that, because it came with accessories, belts, ropes, what have you. Something really special there. Yeah, it's just the kind of like random junk that I've had since childhood. Well, minus that one. And this shelf is just a catch-all. I mean, it's just not anything special. I just haven't figured out really what I want to do with this shelf yet. So I just have duplicates, excess original San Francisco toys, just random junk, really. Not anything really super special there. All right, so how could I miss it? So this ring, again, like I said, I've got a million of the Hasbros. My main collection with all the figures are there. But when it comes to Hasbros and LJNs and, stuff, and Jakks Pacific Classic Superstars, they're just all over the place. But this right here, they kind of fell over. But the Galoob line. Now, if you were to include the Big Josh custom as part of the originality of this lot right here, then that would mean that I would technically be down to one figure, and that means that the Brian Pillman Blue Trunk UK exclusive is going to be the very last figure that I need in order to complete this collection. And one of the things that bothered me, I'm having a heck of a time over here, and I'll get that later. One of the worst things that really angered me is paying $150 for this piece of crap. The Ron Simmons Galoob, as you know, I've mentioned it several times, one of the most horrendous, horrible figures in the history of toy making, and having to buy that just for the sake of saying that I have it and to complete the collection, that's what kind of got me. Let's see. I got more Jakks stuff up there. More figures, yeah. Like I said, guys, eventually that wall is going to have a built-in shelf, so I'm going to have a whole lot more space to do a whole lot more things. I don't know right now if I still want to use it for my intention. My original purpose was to put the three-piece Jack's Classic Superstars up there, and then kind of move down two-piece, one-piece if necessary. But if I don't do that, I'm thinking I'm still gonna use. I'll probably use it for my horror collection back there, and that way use that shelf for more wrestlers. Kind of keep the wrestling figures together. So when I had these recessed lights installed, they had to put all these holes in the wall, and so that's what you see up here. At one point on this wall, I did have all of these posters displayed properly. So everything you see here in black, all of these are all LJN original posters. I never in a million years thought I was going to sit back and collect these things, but you know, they're not bad. So I guess the only spot for them is going to be on kind of like this little overhang over here. Trying to see if there's really anything that I missed. I don't think so. I think we pretty much went over everything. With these room tours, I don't like doing 30-minute videos because I feel like it's going to lose interest very soon for a lot of people, but still, I really like being able to kind of, you know, show my collections and, talk to people about it. We have folks come down and, they look at the collections and, they take interest, it makes you feel good about yourself. And of course, you like talking to other people and who share similar interests, finding things that you may not have known about and adding things to a respectable collection. And with the wrestling toys, like I say, guys, I just started